In Dynasty, we never back down. Legacy lives on every single day. Welcome to the People's Podcast, where legends play. The legacy of man, and if you know it, here to stay. Troy leading the way in this game we trust. Franchise and Dynasty, the People's Podcast. The passion and the drive, the spirit of the game. Champion mindset will never be the same. Hot topics and debates, we bring the heat. The legacy of greatness, can you feel the beat? The legacy lives on, strong and true. Welcome to the People's Podcast, where legends play.
All right, boys and girls, we are back for a first ever back-to-back podcast, but it's NCAA. We haven't had this bad boy in 10 years. It only makes sense that we go back to back, as they say. Joining me again, the NCAA guru, Toddy's favorite stepchild, Mr. Randy. Welcome, sir. How you doing? Welcome back again, back-to-back nights.
Dude,
I love it.
It feels great to be back. And I just realized something. Toddy's a redhead, and I'm like his normal-haired stepchild, right? It's like the reverse. So he just hates me for being normal and better in every way.
He hates it because he can't be you. That's what
Exactly.
it is. That's
Exactly.
what it is. And then we have a special guest joining us today. The man, the myth, the couple time champion, at least in legacy. I know in his own league he's won a couple times as well. Mr. Prime. Not related to Prime, the man, the Deion Sanders guy at Colorado. But
I might be who you know.
But he might be. We'll never know. We'll never know.
What's going
Welcome,
on,
sir. How you doing? How you been?
Good, man. Good, man. It's a good day. We're 1 week away officially, bro. So
we are 1 week away, Prime.
We're
are
technically
absolutely right.
1 second. Give me
Hold
a
on.
second.
Randy has the countdown.
Counter right loaded. So what's the thing? July. Give me the date. There'll be the 15th.
That's correct. How many hours are left? How many hours are left? I wish DK was on the podcast because we'd see him explode.
So the hours that are left. So I will ballpark that one. I can get us that one. We are 6 days and call it 20 hours away, give or take.
There you go. 6 days, 20-ish.
You could ballpark
hours away from
we round to 5.
A game that hasn't been around in 10 years, making its debut.
You can't, because the calculator I use included today. You can't count today.
Can't today. Today's over.
Today's
That's
over.
it.
Yeah.
It's already over. It's 9 o'clock. There you go. We got someone chiming in. There it is. We got 6 days, 19 hours. There it is. It's official. Boom.
Fuck yeah.
All right. So listen. All right. So we have first and foremost, we got a couple people jumping in. This is a podcast that I run for a group, a Madden group that I'm in. It's called Legacy, which now does NCAA. Also, if you're interested, hit me up. Let me know. I can get you an invite, slide you into the wait list because we are packed. But with that being said, we're going to do podcasts like this throughout the year. If you like the content, feel free to hit the sub that we get notified when we post, because we do this at least once a month about the league and about what's going on in football like guard today. So today we're going to cover recruiting. We're going to finish recruiting, right? So yesterday, if you missed the podcast yesterday, tune into it. We talked about recruiting in pretty high detail. Today, we're going to kind of finish it up with some of the transfer portal stuff, some of the end recruiting aspect of it. And then we're going to dive into the load that was dropped today, which was first look at the actual gameplay. Donovan Edwards beat the crap out of that dude that he played today, which staged. I'm gonna say it. It was staged. There's no way cover athlete shows up to play a game and he gets walked.
Yeah,
There's no way
I have some theories.
All right, so we'll get into that, and we got Prime as a special guest today, who's also kind of dived in deep into the gameplay today. So we're going to get his take as well. But Randy, all right. First and foremost, let's finish up the recruiting.
Yeah.
It's a mega aspect
Yeah.
of the college football release. Again, if you missed it, watch yesterday's podcast. We went deep dive into discovery, into the pitch and the close aspect of the game. Randy, what's next?
Yeah, so we yesterday we broke down like the school aspect, understanding how you as the coach will get these recruits. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about the recruits and how you get them. So every recruit will have their interests. It's going to be 3 things that they like out of the 14.
Give us an example of the 3 of the 14.
So the 3 of the 14 would include like a playing time, playing style, championship contender, program tradition, campus lifestyle, etc. So and I have all 14 here. I could post it later, but basically kind of like to real life, the 3 things, like if the kid's a 2-star, he probably doesn't care that much about becoming a NFL player. He might care a little bit more about the actual academic prestige. Might want to go to Stanford, Vanderbilt. So
Which,
it just cut its feelings.
Fun fact: colleges, when they recruit kids, I know this as a high school coach, colleges, when they recruit high school kids, they actually give them a pre-draft grade coming out of high school.
Yeah, and
So
you
they
actually
tell them, hey, based on what you've done so far and where we project you to be, we have you slide as a X round type of draft pick.
Yep.
Which is kind
And
of interesting.
I believe On3 started the new trend where you only get 32 5-stars
Correct.
a season.
Correct. Yep.
And that is to actually notate that these are the only 32 that, if they were to be drafted tomorrow, would be first round picks.
Correct.
So I thought that was
pretty
pretty
dope.
interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, but what I thought was cool is that one thing that I noticed about these their interests is that you could there's certain combinations that you can have, and the commentator Herb Street said that if you have a hometown hero, which I'm not sure if that's just him using it like just saying that, or if that's a combination of the 3 interests, because he says you have a hometown hero, and he says that would include proximity to home, the brand exposure, and I think it was program tradition. It was something like that. He named the exact 3.
Specific things.
Yeah, so it's 3 specific things, and that makes me wonder: will they have like titles for what certain mixtures are that you've seen before, right? Like you have the hometown hero, you have like the for the brand, which would be like your Travis Hunter that didn't care where he went, he just wanted to look good, wanted to get to the NFL, and
Exposure.
wanted
Yeah,
to
it was exposure,
that's
NFL,
all.
and college hypeness,
Playtime,
right?
yeah. So it's curious if they're gonna have like little mixtures for that, and that also goes into transfer portal, but it's like I said yesterday, it's going to be much more expedited. You, instead of getting 12 to 16 weeks with these kids, you're going to get 2 to 4 weeks. And the thing that I thought was cool is that the players with deal breakers from recruiting high school will have those same deal breakers in college. So the minute you lose one
Wow.
of their 3, they'll leave.
That's it. They're
And
gone.
and
And
you
they're
have
going to the backup,
yeah,
the
yes,
side chick kind of school.
yeah, the one that they'll typically look first at the 2 and 3 teams that finish in their recruiting, and you can and just like in 14, you can try to get them to stay, and you have a certain amount of offers. Like you can do it so many times based on your coach prestige. So obviously, like Nick Saban would have 5 times to try to get a kid to stay,
Right.
whereas Coach Toddy from Colorado State doesn't get any chances 'cause he
Anything. But
sucks.
Prime, Coach Prime may get like 15 chances.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Prime. I mean, how do you leave Coach Prime?
And then the kind of the last thing is that the other thing that it's based off of is their overall. So like if you're
Ooh, okay. So
so
if they're a higher roll, but behind the depth
Yep.
chart,
yeah,
Okay.
they'll just leave, and it's harder to keep them there. And all of these rules for transfer portal, they are the exact same rules they use for the draft.
okay.
So it's because it's kind of the same idea, right? Is that you're trying to keep them here, so you're going to use your excuses, or your reasons, like, hey man, you didn't get any playtime this year, but you're going to get all the playtime next year, or hey, you're only a second round pick. Let's get you into the top 10.
Yeah. Let's get you more. Let's get you more of that bag.
Yep. And that's overall kind of like what I had left for recruiting. My final thing is just to remind people that the mental abilities that you get from a freshman recruit will
Matter.
stay there, and that's the only ones. Like you do not get to develop new mental abilities, and that kind of comes with like persona, right? Like even as a freshman, Derek Stingley Jr. for LSU was an All American, and not just All American freshman, All American
All American.
cornerback.
That
Yes.
dude was a stud.
Yeah, so that's something that you just you walk onto campus with, right? And that's kind of separating those freaks that you're going to see.
Well, and again, that's what makes a 5-star 5-star.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there should be a difference between a 5-star dude coming on campus and a 3-star. I mean, it just should be. Now, yes, you'll find hidden gems, right? Guys that were under-recruited, under-evaluated, that maybe is a 2-star, 3-star kind of guy that turns into a 5-star or has the traits to become, a 5-star kind of guy. But at the end of the day, your top dogs are your top dogs for a reason. And, that stuff is gonna play out. Prime, before we move on, I want to get your opinion on that recruiting aspect of it. You're pretty competitive. I would say, you got, at least in this league, I know you got a couple other ones. You got Colorado here, you got Arizona State, or is it Arizona State in the other one?
Yeah, Arizona.
Arizona. So how does that recruiting aspect of it affect kind of your approach to the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun, man. I mean, my favorite part of just franchises in Madden, we're just drafting and team building, and I think this is just like a whole nother level of that, right?
It's on steroids. It's on
oh
steroids.
it's on. That's the best way to put it, because now you can't just hold on to your key players for fucking 7-8 seasons, right? It's a continuous cycle. So just the strategy behind it, like all the things that Randy was mentioning. I mean, all the different things you can try to do and convince some of your recruits to attend your school or keep them from staying. Or dude, it's so exciting, because that's my favorite part of Madden and NCAA in general, just the team building aspect. So the challenges that will go with having a Colorado or Arizona, those schools that are not traditionally very good at recruiting. I'm excited. It's going to be a challenge, but I mean, it's exciting for me for sure.
Yeah, and again, for the folks that don't know Prime, I'm gonna give a little plug for him. I've never seen a guy win multiple championships and then toss his quarterback to the fucking curb immediately after the game's over. Immediately after the game's over, he's trying to trade him. He's trying to get the first overall pick to draft another guy. And again, it goes back to his comments around, wanting to build his own team. It reminds me of one of our commish, Toddy, right? Toddy, year one, basically traded every Steeler player on that roster. By the time he got to play year 3 or 4, he didn't have a single player on his team that was not drafted, which I think is pretty cool. Again, kind of goes back to the team building aspect of it. And with college football, back to your point, Prime, is on steroids, right? Because you can tell a kid, hey, kick the curb, bud. Get out of here. We're going to cut you. Your roster's gone. You better hit the transfer portal.
Yep.
See ya.
And totally unrelated, but Arizona's wide receiver, Tatario McMillan, actually the little brother of Jalen McMillan.
And he's a stud.
Yeah, the wide receiver drafted to the Buccaneers in round 3.
Yeah.
It must suck to be Jalen McMillan, because Jalen McMillan is like 6 foot flat. Tatario McMillan is fucking like 6'5". Like he is a dog.
Damn. He's a baby Mike Evans.
Yeah.
He's a
I
baby
think
Mike
he's just
Evans.
a Mike Evans at that point.
Yeah, at that point, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so let's segue on, and I got another guest who's gonna hop on here to talk about some of the gameplay. Mr. Rico, welcome to the show.
What up?
By the way, I guess it was Rico. I had no idea if it was Rico because I sent the invite to like 3 other people.
Yeah, I was hoping it was.
All right, so and again, appreciate everybody that's on. If you got questions, definitely type them in. We'll get them posted on the screen. We'll get them answered for you along the way. The big nut that was dropped today, which was massive, and
The Omega
I'll say
nut.
there was 2 of them because Randy, the video you posted afterwards.
Yeah.
From the guy, what's his name? I don't want to butcher his
Gordo.
name.
Yeah.
So he was a guy that played against Donovan Edwards in the NCAA NCAA game at the studios, and then afterwards, shortly after the gameplay video went out, he posted his own reaction video to it, which I thought was pretty badass. If you don't have the link, let me know. I can definitely send it to you. I'll post in a couple of the Discord leagues that I'm in, but gameplay wise, and Brandon, hold off with you, right? Because I know
Yeah.
you're a junkie about this stuff.
You go ahead. I'm gonna pull up Bordo's link and I'll post it in the YouTube.
There you go.
Section.
So first, Prime, what'd you think of the gameplay? What was your initial kind of reaction to it?
First initial thought is this is going to be a run first cycle. I mean, the running was so smooth. That was definitely my first opinion. Just the run mechanics, the blocking, everything. Just
The
run
stick
game
work was
wise.
nice.
Oh man, smooth.
And the stick work seemed like, because, back in Madden, you got to, let go of accelerate and do this and do that because you can't do it all at the same time. It seemed to be all one fluid kind of motion with this. That's pretty cool. Now, do you think it's going to be OP? Is that the fear, Prime?
That's the fear, man. I am a little fearful in that aspect that I think that's just going to be, sort of say. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, listen, college football has had some great running backs in history, and I think that's cool that they're going to bring back, the run game because obviously Madden has been pass heavy, so it'd be nice to have. I mean, I'm not like I'm a pass first guy, so in my heart, I'm like, damn, okay, I might have, just depending on how this cycle goes, but it looks clean. And then the how fast the gameplay was, I was a little nervous that it was gonna look a little arcadish, you know what I'm saying?
Yep,
Because the speed would be so fast, but it just went perfectly with it. I mean, it was smooth, like you were saying, everything was smooth. I'm a little fearful, but I think it's good. I think it'll be good gameplay.
So I will say to note, people that watch college football religiously, I'm talking about diehard every Saturday from sometimes 10 a.m. till midnight. If you're watching some of the West Coast, no, the average NCAA team probably runs for $190 a game.
Yeah.
So the run game in college football at that magnitude, Prime, that you're talking about. So seeing Donovan Edwards go 10 carries for $130, to me, that's an average to below average day in college football. I was like, okay, that's what you should do. Right? Because the stats you cannot compare to a NFL, right? NFL, you rush for $150, you're top rushing team in the league, guaranteed. Right? Look at the Ravens, right? They've led the league for a couple of years in the rushing aspect of it. In college football, $150 is, you may be ranked like 75th in college football in rushing, right? It's where you get to that 250 rushing yards a game that you're like, all right, we're in the top 10 in rushing, right? So I think the gameplay has to mimic that style where rushing should be OP to an extent because yards, stats, college football stats are just insane. I looked at the average rushing team in college football. The average team ran for $130, and that's out of 118 teams.
That's crazy.
That's
Only
a ton.
118.
That's 118 is what I saw because that's what's available in NCAA. I only looked at the teams that were in NCAA.
Okay.
As my poll size, right? Passing wise, it was like 250. So you start thinking about some of that stuff, and you got some teams out on the West Coast. They're going to average 450 throwing a game.
Yep.
They're going to throw for 7,000 yards.
Fuck.
That's insane.
Last year, Jaden Daniels, Heisman quarterback from LSU, he had like 700 yards alone running and passing.
I mean,
like
in a game.
In a game.
Like
there
that's
was
insane.
There was a 2 or 3 game time span where he had like 18,000 or 1,800 total yards.
Yeah, that's insane.
In 3 games.
That's college football, though. So, I think, Prime, you got to take the Madden stats, kind of throw it out the window. And then when you reapply what college football is like on game days in real life, you're like, oh, rushing for 200 yards is like a minimum standard. Like that's what you should go for. You know what I mean? Rico, I want to go to you on the gameplay feel. What were your thoughts?
My first thought was obviously the rushing. It looks really smooth. And I like to pass, so I didn't love that. Passing's probably not going to be super like as good as it is in Madden. But it's tough to say because I mean, you're not going to get those 99 quarterbacks like unless you just get a 5-star. You're going to have like an 80 overall quarterback, and then they'll just leave.
But you know what, Rico? Think about it. How many dog quarterbacks do exist in college football? There's probably like 5 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That are dogs, right? Where in the NFL, you can get like 15 of them.
Every team has a running back or running backs.
Running backs, I think. Yes, add that S to the end of it for sure. But don't get discouraged now. The one thing before I go to Randy that I was ultraly impressed with, and I loved, was the ability to disguise coverages.
I love that, bro.
And while you're picking the play, you have the option on the bottom to show you're picking cover 4, but you're going to come out of the huddle and cover, single high, safety high look. And then you're going to roll to it. Or post huddle, right? You're on the field, prime adjust, to a certain play. And then boom, I do this, that, and the other. And then I'm showing a cover 2 look, but it's really going to roll into a cover 3 or cover 1. I thought that was very, very unique and definitely a long time that we've needed something of that capability where they've actually roll. Now, it'll be interesting to see what I didn't hear. And Randy, I'm going to go to you after this. They didn't talk about the AI at all. There hasn't been very much talk. The video they were posted, the 86 pages that you went through, it's all been about features and benefits. There's been very little conversation where Madden, they pride themselves on talking about how, the defense was smarter. You ran the same play twice. They were going to know, you ran the same play in a series that the defense will react faster. It was more about the AI reacting to a play versus in NCAA. I really didn't hear a whole lot of that. So I'm interested to see, okay, yeah, you roll coverage, but does your boy recognize post coming when he plays that cover 3 and he's supposed to play the hook curl and does he bite down the post or does he just run by it? Because that's what I saw during the gameplay. Right. I saw a couple of times where dude was in the hole and didn't really recognize there was running back coming by next to him. So that I wonder, how is the AI going to play a role into the game? With that, Randy, what was your take?
So I'll be real, man. I watched every snap of the gameplay at like 50% speed, half speed. So like I have a lot. I could talk about this all day. So first, I just wanted to kind of talk about the presentation of the game. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, that whole Penn
that
State,
was fucking insane, right? Like
even at Michigan, that was dope.
yeah, and
it's funny because Donovan Edwards said this is exactly how it is on game day.
Yeah, he was
in Michigan.
Yeah, and then they went to Penn State, and he's like, "Bro, this is how it feels when they come out. Like they chant."
Well, even the Penn State chant on first downs, he was like, "They do that."
He was like, "No fucking way."
Downs.
He was impressed. Like, and then even as small as they called an audible at the line, and they all looked at the sideline.
They looked at the sideline. Yeah,
and he was like, "Nah." He's like, "Nah, fucking way, man. There's no way you're this like attentive to details," which I thought was really, really good. And the other thing I thought was pretty interesting, and this is both a compliment to Donovan Edwards as well as a compliment to the guys who made the game. Bordeaux ran, I think it was kind of like the jet sweep fake seams, where he faked the jet sweep and then threw the seam to the halfback. And Donovan Edwards was like, they fucking ran this play in the bowl game.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't remember who they played, but they ran this exact play, and you'll have it in the game. For Donovan Edwards, who's on offense, to fucking know, like he's watched the fucking tape and know they ran this fucking play.
IQ level. Yeah.
Like, oh my God, the IQ level of that guy. And that will actually kind of be what brings me to my kind of just a summary. Like I have a little bit more that I can go into depth about each offense, defense, special teams. But my basic summary was that number one, Donovan Edwards, like all personality, like
Oh
he's the all
yeah.
personality team. What a fucking just what a guy to talk to about the game and everything. And the other thing, like I think he proved. I want to get y'all's opinion on this. He proved that the average college football player could beat the average Madden player.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like
Well,
he
his
proved
vision
that.
was different. You
Dude,
saw
he
his
was
vision
doing shit, and I
different.
was like, "Nah, dog, that's not fair." Like, I consider myself good on the sticks, but what he was doing was like actual otherworldly. Oh,
Yeah,
it was
Prime,
impressive.
I'm gonna go to you first. What were your thoughts on Donovan Edwards' little stick work as he was reading the offense and the defense there?
with it, bro. I mean, just like Randy said, I think it shows like his IQ level. Can definitely overcome someone that's maybe a little bit more experienced. Maybe not someone like a fucking Henry or something like that. But I mean, he was able. I mean, the way he was playing, I was like, shit. It's like the guy's had the game for a couple
Right,
months,
for
dude.
months.
Yeah, like he was nice. Like one of the runs, I think he was in the end zone when it was Michigan versus when it was the first game when Bordeaux had Texas. It was one of the first running plays where he scored off of. He was in like the, I don't know, 15-10, the 15-20 yard line. And it was a beautiful hole, and he cut the way he was just cutting, dude. I was like, oh yeah, this dude's nice. And then the
And
very next drive, he had a user alert, bro. I was just like, holy
Yeah.
Yeah.
shit, dude.
And he was using like where he was supposed to be in the snap.
Which
You know what I mean?
which
Like-
I thought was interesting because he wasn't like the rest of us, right? We're all
Yeah.
I'm trying to cover flats all the way down there.
Yeah.
And that's not my responsibility whatsoever. Right. He stayed within the defense,
Yeah.
but he saw the route come.
Yep.
That the little square in route that came behind him, and he saw it and he squeezed it and ball got thrown right to him. It was, but that D line was also nice. It's also good when you have a D line that
Yeah.
is causing havoc the way that Michigan D line was
Yep.
the entire game. You got to get the ball quick, which kind of leads me to that next portion of the fatigue aspect of it, right? So, what'd you guys think? Enrique, I'm gonna go to you first on this. What'd you think of that of the player fatigue being hurt? Because quarterbacks start taking a couple shots. That throw power, you may have it at 95, but all of a sudden it's now 88 going to the third quarter.
It's gonna be a lot to get used to. Because in Madden,
That's
you
it.
just throw them out there. Turn conservative, you don't care what hits they take. Because I mean, if they got good toughness, they're not gonna get hurt. Even average.
Which
But like,
which I think
if you got a small guy going against a linebacker, it don't matter his toughness. He's dead. He's dead.
Yeah. And that was my other thing was like, good luck cheesing a player. Like,
right.
Like,
Right.
yeah, sure, your running back's real good, and he'll theoretically get 200 yards. But when my theoretical 250-pound linebacker turns him into
Is
mid-speed
pounding on him.
4 plays, then your dude who's 95 speed's down to 85 speed.
Right.
Like it's gonna be brutal. And
The broken leg.
yeah, and what I paid attention to, they showed the wear and tear like the screen, and it was Quinn Ewers, and it was like Quinn Ewers 92 throw power or whatever, and then it said -7, and I was like,
Mhm.
what? And then this wasn't in like orange or red. This was like light yellow. He was already down to -7 throw power. So like
man.
imagine he gets beat on for 3 quarters, and you're in the orange, and it's like -11 or -15.
And you
have
think
to-
about those quarterback run heavy people.
Yeah.
If that toughness ain't where it need to be,
Yep.
you're gonna see that wear and tear play a critical role in the player overall effectiveness.
And that kind of leads to my next thing. Will wear and tear lead to like season-ending injuries and shit? Like oh
I mean, if you keep putting them out there,
yeah, right. Because they talked a little bit that wear and tear and injuries are separate, but I'm not sure if
Mhm.
that's completely separate or if that's like you can get injured without getting worn and torn. I'm not sure if it's totally separate or if they're just saying that just because you're not worn and torn or wear and tear doesn't mean you can't get injured. So
Well,
I'm just curious to see how that goes.
I think we've all been wanting the injury tuning to be a little more realistic, right? So I
Agreed.
think we all would rather have the wear and tear aspect of it versus you get hit one time and the dude's gone for 4 weeks. Right, where it doesn't really happen like that in real life. Right,
Yeah.
where now, to your point, you run the dude 10 times in a row and he's your quarterback and he gets popped a couple times. Expect there to be some type of injury, concussion, some type of repercussion for that choice. Again, it goes back to what I said yesterday in the podcast. Choice. You're going to have a ton of choices on how you choose to run, manage, and execute your team. And those all are going to play vital consequences or rewards on how your season kind of ends up going. Prime, I'm gonna go to you on this, on the wear and tear aspect of it, because you're a mobile quarterback kind of guy. That's the kind of guys you like to recruit and have on the roster. Does this make you think a little differently about your strategy?
Like with Randy, when he touched on it being separate, because that's how I took it as well. So in my mind, I'm like, oh wait, it's separate. So this is their way of maybe, right? I know a lot of people, like, I think us, because we obviously want realism and we want that to be part of our league. I think most the casual, just NCAA user would just injuries would kind of probably ruin it for a lot of them. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, if this is separate and this wear and tear just drops the attributes, I mean, it's definitely going to keep my strategy a little bit different, but not as much as it would have been if they were connected, right? If I keep running this dude to the ground and his speed is just going down, or his break tackle or carrying or whatever it is going down, but his injury risk is not technically going up. I mean, yeah, I'm still going to be
You're
worried.
okay with it, though. You're okay with it.
I'm a little more. I'm more okay with it. Is the best way to put it, because I saw like the specifics. Like, dude, it was so cool. Like they were talking about it, like Quinn Ewers' left arm. So since his left arm was the part of his body that was banged up, his throw power was significantly, and maybe a running back's leg, it's the speed, or if it's his shoulders or arms, it's his carrying. Like, dude, how specific and like the details that they're putting into this, I'm super excited for. But I don't know if it's not connected, though. I don't see it being as big of a deal as I initially thought it was.
It long term wise, it may impact you that one individual game, right? But long term, he's ready to go for week 2. He's ready to go for week 2, and you play ball. Rico, what was your thoughts on the whole injury or wear and tear?
I had the same thought as Prime, but then obviously I also switched. Like if they are separate, that does change things. But I just assumed that like the more a guy gets beat on, the easier it is. Like he could just be out for the season. Like if he's like in the red for his leg, he takes a big hit to the leg, he could
ACL's gone.
just snap. Yeah.
And that's something that we didn't see. We didn't see anybody in red.
Yeah, right.
So we don't know if in red's like -10 injury or anything like that.
Prime was going to be during launch, just running quarterback draw. How many hits can you take before
before you
gets knocked out of the game?
If I'm playing you or Randy in an important SEC game, bro, and if the fucking game is close, bro, Travis Hunter is still getting that fucking rock, dude. I don't care.
No matter what.
Orange,
it's gonna look like that
speed. I don't care.
It don't matter.
Did y'all see the Colorado game this year? Whenever that fucking safety was like, I don't really care.
Well, Toddy, that's what Toddy's. That's the only reason why Toddy is excited for this Colorado.
Toddy's just gonna ship off that guy to whoever plays Prime every week just so he can go Travis Hunter.
That's
just
it.
kill him. Just kill him.
That's it. He's got one job: find Travis Hunter, murder him.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a couple comments that I do want to show from the fans. Wouldn't be surprised if we do a mixture of both, where with the wear tear and the injury kind of situation. Hey, he also made a good point. OU at one point had 3 backs and would average 200 yards rushing per game. That's Oklahoma, which you think of Oklahoma, you think pass first kind of team here, and they were running wild on that aspect of it. So Randy, what else in the gameplay arena kind of stood out to you as you were watching the slow, methodical version of the replay?
So the first thing I noticed was both of these players were not very good. I think that's something like we're very scared about the run game and defense and everything. But like I went back and I watched it slow. How many times did y'all see them actually get out of nickel or dime? Because I'll tell you right now, twice.
Yeah.
Twice, and that was in the Bordeaux like long cut. They stayed in the DB heavy versions of the formations for the most part. Now a couple of times they changed, but like they never got tried to really get into a linebacker defensive edge D line style defense. Like they
But
never got
now, do
into
you think it's
smash mouth.
intentional? Because again, college football is mostly a 4-2-5
Yeah,
kind of game, right? You see 4-2-5 kind of dominates college football as far as that defensive personnel
So
set.
definitely right. Like from the Donovan Edwards side, he is. I don't think he plays football like the video game. I think he just knows football.
Football.
He just
Yeah.
knows football. So he's just running what you would run in a football game. So I think there is a little bit of like gaming the system of meta and everything that you'll see that'll kind of help with a lot of this. But what I found was that the formation options were pretty basic from both players. And this is before I actually talk about offense, defense, and stuff. But formations weren't really that good. You didn't see many adjustments that like a mid to top tier Madden player would know. Like you saw them pinch the D line and stuff, but you never seen them. Like you saw a little bit of the basics, but you never saw them try to put players in specific positions or anything like that.
Yeah, there was no motion of moving players from one side to the other.
Yeah, yes, and on defense there was no like they did kind of change shells, which I think they were told to do, but besides
Right.
that, like they didn't move the blitz. Like if it was an edge blitz, they didn't move the linebackers to
player
the
over
side
there.
to
Right.
to show the blitz or anything like that. And my other thing was so according to Bordeaux, both games were played in Heisman. So if that's the case, you really didn't see anybody that could switch on and make tackles. You know, they tried to let the computer make tackles in Heisman,
Right.
which is like the exact thing you're not supposed to do, right? Heisman in this case is all
It's
Madden.
very user
It's user
focused.
rewarding. Yeah,
Right.
you reward the user for clicking on. Whereas I'm curious to see whenever we play All Pro or whatever they call it, All American, will it be a little bit more that the computer will make decent plays? Because that's I think the biggest thing that I came out of nervous about was pursuit and tackling, which is always
Yeah.
the problem. It feels like.
Yep.
But if they were in Heisman and you had two people that aren't very good at the game, then you wouldn't see good clicking on to make tackles.
Which
would be good.
I do agree with that, because you saw a couple times where I want to say Don Mitchell had the chance of clicking on to a user to make a pick, and he didn't.
Yep.
And he stayed on another player and vice versa. Bordeaux had the same opportunity where he could have clicked, or he clicked on the wrong person
Yeah.
on one of the touchdowns that was scored.
Yeah.
I want to say on the pitch, on that pitch that was thrown
Yeah.
to the backup running back for like a 3-yard touchdown. He clicked off the wrong person because he had a pursuit angle. He was going there, and he clicked off, and AI didn't make the tackle.
Yeah. And that actually is something else I saw. They ran options a couple times, and
That's for show.
yeah, and like the edge always bit.
Yeah.
They never switched it to
No, they never said it contained.
they
correctly.
never set a contain. Like that was they don't know how to do that. And so there's little things like that where I was watching, I was like any average legacy player, which probably slightly above average, slightly above average the normal Madden player will know, okay, he bit me on this once.
So here's the question: is there even that option though?
I don't see that they changed that out. That's been around forever. That would be very
So
bad.
you think you're gonna be able to set your depth on how far you drop?
I don't know about the depth thing because of the whole new
Well, you
cover
think
shells.
the option will be
But the
conservative
option thing's
versus
gonna stay.
aggressive? Yeah.
And then kind of the other like general aspect that I seen was like, I think another problem was that they have the new stick switching. So like
Yes.
instead of hitting O to change your player, you use the analog stick. I think that was another thing causing them issues, was that they were
Well, that's
not.
a bitch though. I ain't gonna lie to
Yeah,
you.
that's
tough.
that's what all 32 users are gonna be fucking in
Have
the
no problem with
lab
that.
day one,
Yeah.
just fucking okay. I just need to fucking learn how to switch this shit and not press O through like because we're all been mentally trained.
Well,
that,
for 10 years,
oh,
that's what you've been
oh,
doing.
Oh, 10, maybe 20. Like this is a whole new, and you will have people from like the soccer because FIFA does the switch stick instead. that'll have the slight advantage, but it's still going to be hard, like training yourself out of it. And my last like basic thing was that the lateral movements were pretty fun. I'm not sure if y'all noticed that, but like jet sweeps, running side to side in general with the defense, like that feels back, which is very Madden 20-esque, which I agree this is whole Madden 20 vibe. But it's so much more fun to me whenever you can actually use the linebackers, use the jet sweeps, especially for college. I think that's going to be very, very fun, and there will be a certain aspect of learning the new game that we'll have to see. But overall, I prefer going a little more arcadey like this to the current Madden.
Okay. Prime, what are your thoughts?
I wanted to see the pass game, man. So the pass game to me was obviously nothing brand new with the whole passing meter. I know Madden has something similar, but this one seems to be more 2K-ish, I guess you can say, in my opinion, the way I seen it. But it was interesting because I didn't see any balls, even when there was a couple of them where they got to the red on the red bar, but nothing was like uncatchable as far as like passing. And I don't know if I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing. Like in my mind, I mean, it was a short sample size, so maybe it was just because of that. Maybe there is going to be animations where they do throw off target 10 yards or whatever it is. Because
they also weren't playing with like bottom tier quarterbacks. Like
correct.
Like
I think plays a role.
Quarterback probably
yeah,
was like the worst passer. Yeah. You can't really. So that was kind of interesting about it because every red bar I seen was still on target. It might have been behind the back, and it still caused one interception on. I don't remember who threw a pass, but there was a pick because of it because it was behind the receiver. So I like that aspect, but I didn't see anything that was way off. And I think that we'll see how that goes when you're playing with quarterbacks, in the 70s overall. I guess that's a good point that we didn't see anybody with a non-elite quarterback. So we'll see.
And that brings me to another thing. Like they straight up, I'm not sure if y'all caught it, but they were like, "Oh, you're not gonna see 20-yard passes over their head." Like they straight up said that they mocked Madden, which I thought was awesome. But let's be real. There, in no world will a quarterback throw an out route 20 yards over there. Yeah. Like that was such a bad part of Madden. Was that I'm gonna
especially
it's
an NFL quarterback.
Yes, yeah, and we're talking about yes. Now we're talking the difference between college and Madden, but like whenever you throw a pass that's like orange and accurate and it's 14 feet in front of your wide receiver, there's a problem.
Big problem.
So that was something that I was more happy about. Like I agree that like as your overall gets worse, little Timmy, that's the quarterback at Tulane, he ain't gonna be able to. Those reds are gonna look like the 20 yards over there.
It'll be quick. It's gonna be quick.
Yeah.
Rico, what are your thoughts?
I'm with you on the accuracy thing. How I do like how they're not going to be perfect pass and accurate, and it's an 80-yard pass over the wide open guy's head.
Right.
Perfect accuracy and accurate.
Yeah.
But everything is catchable, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're probably not going to be throwing nukes every play anyway.
Yep.
It's going to be dink and duck for most of the time.
What'd you guys think of the receiver mossing the Michigan receiver? Where it was that one deep throw on the right side of the field where I think it was a Penn State guy that caught it. It seems like it was just a prayer, and it looked like the Michigan guy was well positioned. But the
click on
Penn State guy kind of got head tapped on that situation there.
I mean,
does that cause concern? Anybody,
think,
and I go back to Madden 23 for that.
Yeah.
Right, where big 6'4" receiver, you do one of those launching prayers, and you got a 5'10" DB, and it's a head tap.
I think this goes back to Heisman. I think if you click on and swat the ball, you'll probably be okay. But that was also, I don't know. I thought it was interesting because like the cornerback was in position for the ball, but he didn't move.
He didn't do anything.
If it is Heisman, that just confirms that they just didn't click on.
Right.
So I'd like to see the difference between simulation and or all pro or all Madden and uh not all Madden, god damn it, all American and Heisman for that.
Where the
I
AI
mean, is
should
there going to be
react.
like an
Yeah.
arcade competitive and simulation?
I don't know. That's why I'm
'Cause-
not bringing it up.
They could have been on arcade too.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
that's what I kept saying throughout the day today. Is the game play felt like it was very arcade style. Now, again, we don't know if there's different styles to it. They have not talked about different styles. You got to assume, though, there is going to be different styles because you got people that like to play different types of versions of it. So the default, the way it was on Heisman, some of the animations, the speed of it, to me, looked very arcadish. But we won't know till
Yep.
we play the game. To be honest with you, you
Yep.
won't know.
And then my only other topic for offense was like, how about that blocking? Like they picked up blitzes a little bit. Now there was a couple where I felt the blitzes should have came in. Just because of just the theory of the blitz that they overloaded one side, but the dude kind of ran around and couldn't get to it. But I was just kind of interested to see that I couldn't tell if this was intentional, but it almost seemed like there was one play where they had like I guess you can call it like a double A blitz,
Yeah, the
mid-
mid blitz.
yeah,
I guess we call it
mid-blitz.
mid blitz, right?
And I'm not sure if they did this on purpose, but the right guard, he was head up with a nose tackle or some type of either a defensive tackle or
The
in.
one tech.
Yep, one tech, and then they had a linebacker in the right over the center, right? Or two linebackers over the center, and on the snap of the ball, it looked like right guard kind of like nudged the one tech, and then hit the linebacker.
So I will confirm that. So there's actually a couple of occasions that happened. If you go back and watch it, there's a couple of occasions where the guard and center would double team the one, but then the center would peel off.
Yep.
To go block somebody else.
Yep.
Whether good or bad, because sometimes that guard lost that one-on-one matchup and it ended up in a sack, but the guard turned because there was some threat that came.
Yep.
And he went to go pick it up. So I thought the AI on the O-line aspect of it was actually far superior than we have seen in a long, long time. And even on the runs, it seemed like the AI, I saw a double, and again, I'm a football high school coach. I teach this stuff to my O-line. So when I see it replicate in a video game, I get a little chub. And I'm like, oh, that's exciting. But I saw a double team and climb. I saw a center guard work combo block and then peel off and go get a backer. And that was one of the touchdowns that Donovan Edwards had in the red zone. I think we mentioned it earlier. Prime mentioned the stick skills on it. I was watching the O-line play. And I'm like, man, the dude double climbed, knew who to pick up, picked him up, made and turned the right way. I'm like, I can't get fucking high school kids to do that shit correctly, let alone a video game.
It wasn't just that they blocked. It was that they blocked and then pulled away.
They turned the right way.
Yeah, you grab the jersey and tug it over to cause the tunnel. Like they actually showed that. I was like, okay, that's
and you saw tackles get depth against the ends, which is also another important thing because a lot of times in the game, you get speed rushers off the edge and they just beat a dude around the edge and you don't stand a chance.
Yep.
You saw some of those tackles get depth and widen out and make it harder for those DNs to kind of come around. Overall, I was actually very, very impressed with the O-line play, but I saw the abilities, right, that D tackle that Michigan had, rightfully so, cause havoc, which is realistic in a game. If you're not going to double team him every time in a passing situation, expect that dude to be in the backfield. And he was. If he wasn't double team, he was causing havoc, especially if you held the ball too long.
Yep. And another thing that I thought was really cool, there was I think it was Bordeaux, but there was one play specifically where he snaps the ball and the like you said, the tackles. You can tell there's some type of like edge blitz or they're trying to circle around, and those tackles did their job. And I mean, by the time the play's over, Bordeaux runs up the pocket, and it's a perfect circle, which is what I mean. That's in offensive line coaches' wet dreams is what you see.
That's
right?
it. That's it.
This
Exactly.
is it. Like this is
But you know what? But I think it's also because he stepped up into the pocket.
yes.
How many of us just keep dropping back,
Yeah.
dropping back, and dropping back, and then wonder why you get sacked?
Yeah.
Right. So he identified there was two. It was a 2-corner blitz that was coming. It reminds me of that DB blitz with the cover 2 look that we run in Madden. Prime, you know about that because that's your favorite play. And it's okay. And they stepped up. He stepped in the pocket. The tackles picked up the blitzing guys. Everybody else picked up the other ones. Clean pocket. Made a nice throw. It was a clean. It was a clean kind of situation. That's the little stuff, right? That back to your point. A guy that's playing the game that's not very good may not realize, but people that are fanatics of playing college football and Madden will like, hey, that's a pretty good damn block. That's a game changer.
Yep. And then I still even talked about defense at all, but my 2 things, or I'll say 3 things from defense that we haven't touched on. Did y'all notice that linebackers could fucking cover again?
Yes.
Did y'all see that shit? They had 2 picks from linebackers where it wasn't fucking chaotic, like, oh, they jumped 12 feet in the fucking air.
Hey, it wasn't no crazy lurker animation.
Yeah, it was over their head, and they went and got it. It was like, oh my god, holy sh! And I had to go back a couple of times. I was like, was that a goddamn line? Because remember, they get whatever fucking numbers they want. So it's like 22 was lined up in the. Yeah, it's a fucking middle linebacker. That's an inside linebacker.
Yeah, the linebacker coverage was it was good to see him get depth.
Yep.
It was good to see him feel receivers.
Yes.
And then react appropriately, because a lot of times, you send a guy into a hook curl and he goes there, but a receiver's right behind him and he doesn't move with them. It's like, dude, move. Even if you're not playing a match or not, it doesn't matter. Normal principles in that hook curl is if you feel a receiver run a square in or some type of crosser, you run with them until something else crosses your face.
There was one play. There was one play specifically where I was watching it, and like the linebacker took the guy like to the hash mark, which for college is
and then bounce back.
Yeah. And at first I was like, oh my god, why are you bouncing back? And then I realized he was like fucking 40 yards. And I was like, oh wait, that's actually not bad. Like I'll take that.
He recognized that there was another route coming across.
Yep.
And he peeled off into the route because that was entered his zone.
I thought that was so good. That alone, I was like ecstatic.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But the other, you had one other question where you were talking about the corners and hook curls and everything. There was one play where it was Bordeaux's interception where he went into a cover 2 shell, and then at snap it came down to 3. If you look at, I guess it would have been the left side safety. So I can't remember if it was strong side or not for this specific play, but
weak side. It was a weak side safety.
It was weak side.
I know what play you're
so
talking about.
yeah, he came down, and at first I'm like, is he in a hook curl? Like, is he in the yellow for the Madden guys that know it by the colors? And then he came down, he took that first route, the linebacker came, covered it, and then he broke off and went to his outside containment
responsibility. Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, it actually like did what it was supposed to do.
It understood the scheme.
Yes, like it blew my fucking mind, man. I've never seen that in a football game. Like I was like, he actually covered intermediate, realized that it was a stop route or a dig or something where it was going back in, fed it off to the linebacker and went
pass it off.
Yeah,
he passed all like he's supposed to.
It was perfect. I was like, oh my god, this shit worked.
Yeah. He passed all like he's supposed to, and then he went to his number 2 immediate threat, and he went to it, and the pick happened because the linebacker, when he got passed off, did his job and squeezed it and got right in front of the ball.
It was so good.
There you go, got thrown right to him.
My god,
textbook.
It was as a football advocate, I was like, that's that's football. That's
As a
that.
guy that coaches it, I was excited because I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? That's exactly how you teach it
Yep.
to happen. Which again,
Yep.
awareness will play a role, right? Awareness, play recognition, your zone abilities, this and the other. Again, Michigan's defense is expected to be elite. Texas defense is expected to be of high caliber, not elite,
Yeah.
but of high caliber. So you expect that on there. Prime, I'm gonna go to you on this here. What'd you think from the defensive side of the ball as you were watching some of the gameplay?
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I noticed some things, but I was so focused on offense, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. I was kind of. I watched the video twice.
Yeah, you sound like a Colorado guy already, bro.
You know what I'm
we're
saying,
just
bro,
trying to score
you know?
70
We're just
and give
trying
up
to outscore
69,
y'all.
but
We're
you
not
know,
even
win
worried.
to win.
No,
Yeah.
but I did notice the linebacker thing. I think that was my biggest takeaway for sure. So when Randy mentioned that, because that's one of the things that's frustrated me with Madden is like I get it tuning them down because they were out of hand, the acrobatics and all that shit needed to go. And I think they went the complete opposite way, you know, where I think this seems to be more balanced. You know, the linebackers becoming part of the passing game once again is exciting because, you know, it sucks, man, when you're playing in a league like Legacy, which I think is realistic, having to play linebackers at sub linebacker and they fucking can't do shit. They're just useless, you know.
They're
as far as in the
liabilities.
pass
They're
game.
just a
Oh my
liability
God.
out there.
But
Yeah.
this is kind of the nice part about college, right? Is that in college, like fucking 60% of these kids that are playing linebacker, they're gonna play safety
They're gonna
whenever they
safety
get to the
college
to the
and
NFL.
Yeah, 200-pound linebackers. and
Yeah, they're all
shit.
220. They're all 220, run 4.5s.
Yeah.
They get to the NFL and they're like, son,
Yeah,
a
you're
guard's
going
gonna
to safety,
see you
buddy.
and eat your heart out.
Yeah. Quentin Nelson is going to put you in the hospital. So you're definitely going to safety. Rico, what were your thoughts on the defensive play?
Which defense?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I
I
don't know
don't
why I
play
asked you that. You
Yeah.
don't know the DE. You only know the D in
Yeah.
defense. So all right.
I'll use your corner again. You know, try to jump screens and bubbles, and let the linebackers do the thing. They'll actually do something now, though. So
They will do something now. So that is a valid.
yeah, maybe the defense
point.
won't be as bad. I mean, it'll be bad, but
Is gone, huh? Because I'm a baseline guy. You know what I'm saying? But that
So
was
am I.
That was the way you described.
I mean,
the defense.
baseline's just cover 4, right? Like that's all. Baseline was not baseline, right?
It was not.
Like
No,
like
it was
like
fake.
baseline is not the definition of baseline. Isn't just fucking come out in a cover 4 shell. Baseline is different for every team.
Every set,
Yeah,
every
yeah,
set, every
like-
team for that
yeah,
point.
yeah, right. Like a team that runs cover 3, their baseline will be cover 3. Like that's
Well,
their
single safety high, and
Yeah,
then they
single
roll
safety
into the cover 4.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
can break down baseline into 2 categories. You have single high, which is where you see out of like cover 1, a lot of man zones.
Cover 3.
Cover 3. You'll see the Seattle teams from the early 2010s had it, and then you have the 2 high, which you see from like the Buffalo Bills were kind of the first ones to really define it with Mike.
Tampa 2.
That-
Tampa 2 is
Tampa
pretty
2 is different than cover 4.
No, it was the 2 safety high. 2 safety
Yeah,
high.
so yes, you're right.
Is what
You're
I
right.
mean by that.
Yes, Tampa 2.
Give my boy, give my
The
team
Josh
some props,
Josh
all right?
Gruden and Josh Gruden's
The
defense.
Tony Dungy. Get it
Yeah.
right.
Dude,
You're
I was
right.
fucking 2 years old,
I don't
Jorge.
give a
You should be
shit.
you should be grateful that I know that much
I am.
about
happy.
Mike
I am.
Allstott and the fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Rondé Barber.
Oh, what a team. What a team. All right, but we won't go on a tangent. We will not. I refuse to let us go on a
Okay,
tangent.
so my
Rico's gonna go up a lot of points. That's
Yep.
valid.
Yep.
Rico's job is to win 69-68. That's it.
and here's my
He's-
okay,
Oh.
so
I do have a question
okay, go ahead.
for the group. What did you guys think of the kicking meter?
I have that. I have the special teams. I have the
I
special
thought-
team slide.
I thought the kicking meter was like, oh boy, this is gonna take some time to get used. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna lab and play some games,
Yeah.
but I need to figure out this kicking meter because that
was a
could
little
cost
funky.
you a game.
It was a little fucky, right? And especially in college, much like quarterback, you only have about 15 kickers.
That's my
that can kick
point.
a fucking field
I
goal.
mean, it's not. I mean, there's a ton of below average kickers playing college
Yes.
football.
Most of these kickers in the NFL come from
Or
fucking
soccer players.
Australia. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're
soccer
soccer
players.
players.
Soccer or rugby. That's all they played. and then you're gonna just fucking. Do I get to recruit Australia? Is that
Is that a
Fucking-
pipeline?
just for
Can we do
kickers?
that?
Just for kickers.
Pri-
There was a
I see Prime already eliminating the kicker scholarship
yeah.
from his team and just saying, "Fuck it, we're going for 2 every single
That's what I'm
time."
gonna do.
That's it, and that's it.
Total
Yeah.
tangent that I know you wanted to avoid. LSU for like 12 years had
Listen,
Australian
we're-
kickers.
We're not talking about LSU football. We're avoiding.
Well, you talked about the
see,
tangent.
I have not mentioned the Florida Gators once during the hour and 2 minutes that we've been on this podcast.
Yeah, but it's so much better whenever
You're
we
wearing
talk
a
about our
Gator shirt
teams.
though, so you did.
What's that?
It's staring us right in the face.
You know, it's my self promo. It's myself.
And the other big thing for special teams, no punting. We didn't get to see any punting. I'm curious.
Nothing. Which
Nobody's
I'm
gonna
curious.
punt. Nobody punts.
I feel like that's a good definition of this year's college. No punts.
no
Fourth
punting.
and 38, we're gonna go for it.
Just
Yep.
go for it. Go for it. You
That's
see
the
that?
only fourth down rule is you
Legacy
can't punt.
Commission team update the
Yep.
rules. The new what's it called? The what rule where
The
you can
Big
go
Dick
for it?
Dan.
There you go. The big
You get
Dick
one
Dan.
punt per game.
One per game maximum.
That's more like the
That's
Pac-12 rule. The Big Ten rule is that you have to punt on 3rd and 8.
it. Yeah. In
The
SEC,
Iowa
we don't
rule.
believe in punting. We don't believe
Yeah.
in punting. in SEC.
Fucking,
Welcome,
and then my only other thing for defense that I had that I wanted to talk about is they talked a lot about how fast the game was going to
Yes. Yes.
be, yet we didn't see too many blitzes like go get home.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see many blitzes at all.
I saw probably
Like 2.
4 to 5.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say there was 2 in the first game, maybe 2 in the second
Yeah.
game.
So
But again, I think that's staged because again,
Yeah,
you heard
and-
on the reaction that he did the video that you posted earlier, which by the
Yeah.
way, if you haven't seen it, it's in the comment section. Go check it out. They definitely mentioned. He mentioned how he was fed to run certain things
yeah.
at certain times. So again, I do think it was staged. There's no way you bring a cover athlete to get his butt whooped on national television.
I will also
my
say though
opinion.
that from like Reddit at all the normal places that I fucking peruse whenever I'm in my basement, I did see like so Bordeaux, for those who don't know, he has like 300,000 subscribers. Like all he does is play NCAA 14, and every person like in Reddit was like, "No, you don't get it. This dude is not good at the game." Like that's
The man ran like 5 Texas routes in a row.
yeah, like he's not good at the game. And I have a theory that the whole point of having Bordeaux as their like YouTuber fucking
It's because he's not
specialist
good.
is because he's not
They
good.
knew-
So
They
Yeah.
knew he was going to lose the game against the cover
Donovan.
athlete. Yeah, I agree with that.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
So I do think that they were told to do certain things like pitching and all that, like to show off some stuff. But I don't think all of the interceptions were.
Oh no, I
Just
thought it
being
was bad.
bad.
Read.
Yeah, I think it was
bad.
mixture of bad reads. Like kind of said, Michigan gonna have the best defensive line in the game, probably best offensive line in the game. So they definitely, it was pretty easy for him to get dog walked in that second game. But yeah, I saw there was 2 blitzes that I thought were actually decent blitzes that didn't go in. There was one where they ran the freaking cornerback blitzes out of
Yeah,
but that one he had the field general, so it didn't really matter. But there was the mid blitz that I was telling you about.
I think that
where-
was intentional, right? Was to show
Yeah.
off the field general attribute,
yes,
right? The skill set of that quarterback having it.
Yep.
So like, oh, blitz guys off the edge, and then he
Yeah.
did, and then you saw that. So
yeah.
that was on
And
stage.
then there was the mid blitz where the right guard kind of hit the he set.
he punched,
and-
and went over.
Yep, there was that one, and then there was a edge blitz. I think it's in Madden. It'd be like Mike Blitz 1. I think is what it would be called, where you have the edge rusher kind of swings around, and then the linebacker
Everybody
swings
slants
where the-
across.
Yep, and it all kind of slants across. It was very clustered. I'm not sure how much of that is just that they slid protected right to take care of it or what, but it
To
did
take
look a
advantage
little
of it, yeah.
clustered. Yeah, but that was one of those ones where it's like if you're gonna run a blitz like that, like if it was me, I would have moved the linebackers over so that your dude's already in that gap, right?
Right.
So that he doesn't have to come from the middle of the field. But still, the fact that he was able to come from the middle of the field and not make any plays and barely get to the line was kind of proof that they were somehow able to balance speed with blitzes. Because if you remember Madden 20, fucking you just blitz 6, 7, 8, fucking
Yeah,
you
that
just
was
send
it. You were gone.
yeah, yeah, that was it. But yeah, that was kind of all of my thoughts, and overall, still pretty impressed. I don't know about y'all.
Did y'all notice the turbo hurry up, man? So,
Oh
so,
yeah,
so when they did it, what was cool to me, because you know, in Madden, when you hurry up, right, you kind of everyone's kind of at the line of scrimmage already, but they're just kind of getting set. But on the turbo, you see guys running from behind the line of scrimmage trying to get back to their
Yeah.
spot, dude.
yep,
And that was a cool little detail. I was like, oh, dude, that's sick, because you know, in hurry up, as we've been seeing it for the last however many years, it's just they're at the line of scrimmage, but then they're just kind of getting set. Now you see them
Yeah, it
fucking
just
hustling,
sims
running,
to,
dude.
to the being on the line of scrimmage
yep.
already.
And
Yeah.
my question for that was, number one, is that going to be an upgrade in the coaching tree? Will you need because
For the turbo, I think it
yeah,
is.
and number two, the other thing that you have to remember, the turbo play is a play. You don't change it. There is no changing.
Correct.
There is no audibles. There is no route changes.
You just
you
snap and go.
snap and go. Yep, you just call it and go. So I assume you'll probably be able to choose what play you want as your turbo, but that's the only play you get out of turbo.
Yeah, I like that though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, Raichi. I think there is you already see more hurry up offense in college.
College football.
You
Absolutely.
know, last year Ole Miss was really good. I mean, Lane Kiffin's offense in general, but they average like 90 to 110 plays a game, which
UCF is
is
another one that
yeah,
runs a
that's
ton of
just
hurry
fucking
up.
crazy.
Oregon created
Yeah, hurry up
that turbo
under Chip
type
Kelly.
of that turbo style type of offense. So it'll be interesting.
Can
So
you put up Shitta's?
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I have no confirmation, and this is me speaking out of my ass. As my conferences showed, I have no sway. But in my opinion, they'll have to be new rules made for hurry. Ooh, fuck me, man.
Yeah, well, hurry up. It's got to be allowed. I mean, it's college football. It's a
You
different
have
than
to let
NFL. Now, NFL, I get it. Not all the times want to hurry up.
They tried. They
It's
failed.
situational. It's just more situational type of thing. In college football, that's someone's offense. So that'll be interesting to see how that'll go. Early Oklahoma, yeah, that's right. Ran that hurry up as well. All right, so we're at the hour 10 mark. Again, thanks for tuning in and staying on the podcast as long as you have. We will be back here live again on Thursday. Thursday is going to be the roster reveal.
That's Wednesday, bud.
Sorry, Wednesday. I'm a day ahead and dollar short.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, rosters come out. We'll be back on the pod on Wednesday to go over rosters. At minimum, we'll go through the legacy rosters. Everybody has a team. We'll go through them all and kind of break them down. If you have a team that we haven't done yet, definitely in the comments, let us know. We will do it. There was a comment that was made here at the end, Randy. Blowouts, are they going to be allowed? Because again, it happens. In college football, you see those 63 games.
So because of the fact that ratings will be rankings, not ratings, rankings.
Yeah.
Rankings are score based per week. They are looking at potential ways to not allow blowouts, but coincide with the
control blowouts.
Right, where something is going to be, something, however much you're supposed to win by according to the over under, something like that.
There you go. So some more info to come on that.
Yeah.
Prime, Rico, I appreciate you guys coming on. I'm gonna go to you guys first as your parting shots. If you got anything to say to the league or anybody else listening to the pod, you're welcome back
Thank you, Gordo.
on Wednesday. Rico, slow down. You're welcome back on Wednesday for the roster reveal. We will be doing Colorado last, from what the agenda says. So Prime, you will have to wait for that portion of it. But anything, any parting words before we end the show? Prime, I'll go to you first.
Not really, man. I'm just excited, bro. As the days go by, I love doing these podcasts, man, because I can't contain my excitement. And it's crazy because I'm at a big college buff like Randy. Randy's a fucking nerd when it comes to this college stuff, and it's cool. It's cool how passionate he is. But I haven't been this excited in years, man. So no, just thank you for having me, man. And I'll come back.
Appreciate you being here. Always welcome back, and appreciate what you do, Rico. Besides Gordo, what else would you like to say?
I can't wait to lose all my recruits to Ramrod. He's gonna steal everybody.
He's in Michigan.
I'm gonna have a very, very bad time.
Yeah, it's a Michigan State rivalry there. All right, Randy, any last parting words there?
I can't wait to see all the fucking frauds that can't throw the football whenever it's not easy. I'm so fucking excited. Half of you fuckers are gonna be running the ball 80% of the time, and I'm so here for it. Y'all fucking posers.
Oh man, the true throwers will be
fucking wait. These motherfuckers
be announced. You will be seen. You will be put on blast.
They weren't burned in the fires of Madden 20, where you were getting fucking blitzed the fuck out of, where coverages were just a fucking myth. Oh yeah, they're not ready. They're not ready for actual coverage on the defensive side of the ball.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody for joining the podcast. Again, we're back here on Wednesday for the roster reveal. Until next time. Appreciate y'all. Have a good night.
Your legacy of man, and if you know it, here to stay. Joy leading the way in this game we trust. Franchise and dynasty, the People's Podcast.